Front Row MMA, and we're here with heavyweight Paul Taylor as he prepares for his fight with Darren Towler at UCMMA 37? At UCMMA. I'm just going to ignore my partner now. First off, how did this fight come about, and you know, what do you know about Darren?
Right. I mean, I've fought on UCMMA 3 times before, and you know, I've done pretty well. I got 3 victories on there, and Dave said to me, "Would you fight for the title?" This was last year. This was back in the last year, and I sort of said, "Well, I've trained with Darren. I know Ian, and we sort of agreed I won't fight him because Ian didn't want to train him to fight me and whatever else." Yeah. And anyway, Darren fought on UCFC, and I was meant to fight, but I actually pulled out. Due to you know, a lot of crap. It's a long story, but anyway, I ended up not fighting, and for whatever reasons, I just felt like, you know, I needed to progress in my career now. You know, I mean, Dave asked me obviously for the title shot last year. He said, "Look, you've qualified for it. You know, you're the next man in line. You've won 3 straight fights against good people. You know, let's sort of get it on." And so I went back to him and I said, "Look, Dave," I said, "I know I wouldn't fight. I said before I wouldn't fight Darren and stuff, but I'm willing to do it now. You know, I need to better my career for my family and for myself. You know, this is something that, you know, that I just needed to get out of my system, because I was going nowhere. I mean, I've already fought for 1 title, and that was unsuccessful. So I just needed to, you know, fulfil my potential on that show, really, and that's how it come about.
Did you know, how has Darren reacted to this? You know, because it seems to me you've done it with the utmost respect, as opposed to, oh, I can beat this guy. You're thinking about, I need to progress. Has it created any bad blood at all, or does he understand as a professional it's what you needed to do?
Right. First off, I mean, I do try and act professional all the time. You know, people who know me and stuff. And I don't try and disrespect people or anything like that. This is a pure career decision to fight him, you know. And Darren was absolutely fine. It was actually coach Ian who had the problem, telling me that Darren felt disrespected and this and that. It was a load of crap, to be honest. Because I messaged Darren on the early hours of the morning, because obviously, you know, it was a big decision, really. I knew that people would think, oh, you know, what's he doing? He said he'd never fight him. But, you know, things happened on the UCFC event that actually made me say, well, is he really my friend? Is he really, you know, behind me? Because I know how I would have acted if I got treated that way on a show. You know, if it had ever happened to Darren, I would have been very supportive of him, for him and things like that. You know, and but I didn't get that back, and I thought, well, are these guys really my friends? You know. But anyway, you know, Ian put a message on my Facebook, you know, just basically saying Darren is offended, blah 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 blah. Because I actually put on my status something like, you know, it's nothing personal, blah blah blah. And then Ian's come back saying, well, it is, Darren's took it personal. Well, that was full of shit, because on the night I messaged Darren because I couldn't sleep about 4 o'clock in the morning, and he was still up. So whether he was all thinking about it and stuff. And he said no. He said, you know, I can control my actions, Paul, but I can't control my coach's actions and things like that. You know, so he's totally fine with the fight. He understands, and he was just like totally different from what was told to me that he was going to be like. So there's no problems at all.
So how much are you looking forward then to stepping in the cage for that title? How motivating is the title to you?
Well, it's everything, because when I first started, I mean, everybody's got their shows that they prefer, you know, Cage Warriors, BAMA, you know, UCMMA. And UCMMA was the route that I wanted to go. You know, so many UFC fighters, you know, came from, you know, that have held that title and have gone on to the UFC. So that was the route that I wanted to take. Hold on, I'm just going to put the camera down a second. My hands are shaking here. Can you still see me clearly now?
Yeah. That's fine, mate.
Okay, yeah. So really, since me starting this thing, really, I mean, I only wanted to fight on UCMMA. That was a dream, but then to actually, you know, go for the title, that was something that I never thought I'd do. But it means everything to me. It really does. It's the title that I've wanted for 4 years. So,
And sort of, how long a training camp are you going to put in for this? Why is it going to be a 10 week, an 8 week? How hard are you going to be pushing for this?
Right. I feel like, in the past I've pushed myself for too long with the camps. I've started 12, 14 weeks out doing like ridiculous conditioning, and I've got like 12, 10 weeks out and stuff. I'm not going to do that now. I basically in the past, as I say, I've really pushed myself to my limits with 4 weeks to go or something, and that's when I should have been fighting, because that's when I've been unstoppable in the gym with my fitness, and I've always, for my fights, I've always felt like crap. I've had like a chest infection, or my immune system's shot that much. I'm trying every remedy going just to try and feel better in myself. So for this one, I've tried to be a bit more sensible. To be honest, I've had about 8 weeks for this one, but I have been ticking over. Obviously, when I say 8 weeks, I mean picking up the pace, twice a day and getting my conditioning and whatever, and pushing my limits. So it's about 8 weeks.
Outside of UCMMA, I mean, Darren's, he's dropped his last two. That's gonna make him hungry. One thing he never lacks is heart. But where do you see you beating him? Where is your strength, his weakness?
I think my wrestling, and I think I did train with Ian up for that UCFC fights, and I think Ian will know that he's got to get Darren's wrestling up to scratch, because I could take anybody down. With exceptions, I've got my coach that I've never managed to even get close to. He's just another level. But mostly everybody else I've ever trained with recently, my wrestling's really good. I can, so instinctive now. I think he'll know that I'm going to be really good at wrestling. So, but then I'm also good with my hands. So it's I think I'm better. To be honest, I think I'm better than him with my hands and wrestling. But in there, when you're both heavyweights, and like you say, his game, he's not gonna take a step back. I don't think, or he might do. He might take the, let's be a bit more calculated. But if he rushes me, he's gonna come into a punch, and if he stands off, I'll take him down. So, but he's meant to be hard to take down, so it's exciting, really. It's a good challenge. I look forward to it.
Darren's obviously a very good one-rounder, but he does seem to gas very quickly, especially the beginning and second round. He does gas very, very quickly. It's proven in his past. Mm-hmm. Is it something that, for you, in your mind, are you just going to kind of wait that first round out and hopefully beat him in the second or third?
I could do. As I say, with me, like my coach always says, look, you can go in there with certain game plans. If somebody's absolutely exceptional at something, you have to think, well, I have to be a bit more careful about this or that. But Darren, and I don't mean this disrespectful, is one of the best. Honestly, he's a good guy and stuff. He's not particularly good at anything. Like he's okay at everything. Do you know what I mean? So I haven't really got a game plan. He's really just a brawler. He's a brilliant brawler. He just comes in, tries to take your head off. If he's unsuccessful, then he'll just carry on. He don't care. He'll just carry on until he either gets knocked out or whatever, or submitted. But he'll just carry on. And people like that are dangerous. Obviously, I think I'll be the one that's probably not going to rush in and try and get myself knocked out. But if you look back at my fights, I'm always very relaxed with my fights. I'm never rushing in, wasting shots, and so my game plan, really, I have no game plan. It's just going to be, if there's a takedown, I'll take it. If his chin's there, I'll take it. And half the time anyway. I mean, most fighters will tell you it's instinctive anyway. If I knock him out, I'll be like that after. Oh, that's good. I've always been like that when I've knocked somebody else. I think, oh, that's good. How did that happen? I don't even know in my head. It's just that's so natural that it just happens.
Yeah, UCMMA is certainly known for putting on exciting fights with big finishes. Is this has this got potential to be fight of the night, or is it not going to last that long?
Again, because we're heavyweights, so we're both big guys, big punchers. As a fan, it's going to be exciting to watch, because obviously, we have got some skills, and if we connect, it will. If it can either be a short fight, very short, which will be disappointing, or it can be one that you know neither of us are going to give up, and we can take a shot and everything. So it's just one of them, and it can be short or long, you know, like any heavyweight.
Hey, one way or the other, no, it sounds like it's going to be exciting. You know, Dave O'Donnell, I think, sometimes takes a bit of stick for the show he puts on, but having been to the Troxy a few times, you know, those fans are electric. Does that add any pressure onto you, or does that actually really get you up when you walk into the cage in that atmosphere?
Do you know what? You are right. It's an amazing atmosphere. Unless you've been there, you wouldn't really know what it feels like to be there. But I've always loved the atmosphere in there. Excuse me. And to be honest, like that's where I feel home. UCMMA is you know something that I'm proud of being part of, and you know proud that I've managed to get 3 good wins on there. You know, so when I step out, really. It's like nobody exists. It's like every fight, really. Nobody exists around me. You know, I mean, when I fought, I thought on the Reddit show outdoors, I was meant to hold my daughter's hand walking out, and she was meant to come in, and I was meant to pick her up. It was like she even disappears, you know. so she can disappear, and I forget to do my little my duties there. Then, but yeah, when I walk out, I don't really feel anything. Honestly, it's just all business. I don't really feel much.
And of course, you know, as you said, the UCMMA it has been a stepping stone for a lot of guys to sort of a more international league. Is that, you know, in two years' time or 18 months' time, do you see yourself joining the likes of Mark Godbeer in Bellator, or, you know, some of the guys in the UFC? Is that the ambition? Is that the dream?
Definitely. And anybody who says that they don't want that, then they're lying, because there's no point in being in the sport, because at the end of the day, I want to try and be the best that I can be, you know, and if you do it, you know, I think this title as well is quite a powerful title. So, you know, who knows? I might get a really fast knockout against Darren, you know, and Bellator might say, bloody hell, and look me up and then think, we like the look of this guy, let's just give him a chance, you know. I can't see the UFC right now, but, you know, that's, who knows? You know what I mean? You know, people have had 4 fights and they've got in the UFC. That's, you know, right. The way I fight is kind of exciting. You know, I like to put it out there. You know, I'm not one of these who just fights boring. So the UFC go for exciting fighters. So you know, who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows?
I was going to say you say that, man, but there's obviously quite a big shortage of heavyweights in the big promotions. I mean, you've got coming up Velasquez versus Dos Santos 3. And you can't help but think that even though it would be a good fight, there's probably, because there's a shortage of heavyweights to put on those fights. Yeah. So, with a really good win over Darren, maybe the UFC would come calling.
Like I say, who knows? You know, I mean, there's no application for the UFC. You can't go ringing down or emailing him. Oh, can I go? You know, you have to be invited. So it's not like we can say, yeah, if you get that belt, you're definitely in. But I mean, Ollie Thompson got that belt, and he beat Ben Smith, and then he beat Mark Potter. Yeah, and he was in. He was in. So again, you know, it's exciting times. I mean, look, I travel to Wigan Monday to Wednesdays. Normally Monday to Thursdays, but my girlfriend's pregnant, so I'm cutting down the days. But I travel away. I'm away from my family most of the week. Put a lot of time into this, sacrifices. And I do want to get as far as I can go, and that's why I go to Wigan, because, like you said, there's a shortage of heavyweights, but good heavyweights who can actually wrestle, who have got real good skills, you know, stand up. And that's why I'm hitting my wrestling and stuff so hard, because I feel like I'm okay with my stand up. You know, I can stand with most, but you know, there's not many good heavyweights with wrestling. Even abroad, if you look at them, you know, there's not many good wrestlers. So I'm hoping, you know, if I just keep plugging away, putting the work in, the wrestling's getting more and more, second nature to me. I'm hoping maybe I could step it up in time.
Well, I'm not going to ask you for a prediction about a round, but I'm fairly sure we can predict an exciting fight out of both of you. You know, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to? Anybody that you'd like to give some thanks to for helping you prep for this?
Yeah, just my coach Darren Morris. You know, he's the backbone of everything we do. You know, he tells us how to fight, how to win our fights, and we just have to go out there and perform. You know, he's absolutely everything to all of us at ASW because he's the only coach. So really just want to say a massive thank you to him. You know, his efforts and everything, that you know, the time he spends with me, the time that, you know, we do all our conditioning at his farm that he's got. You know, we go on and flip tyres in his garden, and you know, and everything. And he's just a crazy man. He's brilliant. So I'd just like to say a massive shout out to Darren Morris, my coach, and all the lads at ASW. It's one hell of a team. We all get each other's backs. And my sponsors, there's too many to list. I didn't have time to
yeah, we're like that. We're short notice kind of guys.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you very much to all of you. I'm not going to call them all out because it'd be unfair if I miss one out. So, and lastly, my family, my girlfriend, and my children for putting up with me for what I do. So.
Paul, we really appreciate
and you guys for the interview as well. Thanks, lads.
Oh, that's all right. You know, you're not really UKMMA until you've been interviewed by Front Row MMA. So it's, you know, no, we really appreciate your time, mate. We wish you best of luck. We know it's going to be exciting, and perhaps the next time we speak, we'll be talking to the heavyweight champion of UCMMA. Thank you so much for your time.
Fingers crossed. Cheers, gents. Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.